Good morning to all of you. Welcome to this jurisdiction class, so jurisprudence class. Friends, we have successfully completed the syllabus and now I am happy that you have written the internal semester examinations very well. But we have to spend some time up to February 4th. Therefore, let us discuss part C, which fetches you more marks. You all know, before beginning the part C, I want to impress upon you that the question, you have to write the brief facts at the outset. In the beginning, you have to write the brief facts. Then you have to start the discussion. Before that, you have to make the issue. What is the issue? Then you have to start the discussion, wherein you have to mention the provisions of law. Ultimately, you may have to mention a couple of case laws, at least one case law, and ultimately you have to conclude the matter. This is the performer. Of course, it's not fixed, but it is my advice. ప్రతిదానికి మొట్టమొదటిలో వాట్ ఆర్ బ్రీఫ్ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ చెప్పిందే చెప్పటం, అదే ప్రశ్నని 4-5 పాయింట్ల కింద డివైడ్ చేసుకోండి. దెన్ ఇష్యూ ఏమిటో రాయండి. ఆ తర్వాత దాని మీద డిస్కషన్ పెట్టండి. ఇది కరెక్టా కాదా, అవునా కాదా, వాట్ ఆర్ ప్రొవిజన్స్ ఆఫ్ లా సేస్. వీళ్ళందరికీ పాజిటివ్గా రాయండి. దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు మెన్షన్ 1 లేక 2 కేస్ లాస్ రాయండి. అల్టిమేట్లీ యూ కెన్ కంక్లూడ్. ఈ కంక్లూషన్లో వీళ్ళందరికీ పాజిటివ్ కంక్లూషన్కి వెళ్ళండి. స్టూడెంట్స్ కాబట్టి అఫ్ కోర్స్ లా అనేది డబుల్ ఎడ్జ్డ్ వెపన్, 2 రకాలుగా ఉంటుంది. ఈ 2 రకాల్లో మీ ఇష్టం, కానీ వీళ్ళంతవరకు పాజిటివ్గా వెళ్తే, ఎందుకంటే స్టూడెంట్స్ కాబట్టి స్టూడెంట్ లైన్లో ఆలోచించి వెళ్ళమని చెప్పి కోరుకుంటూ ఈ రోజున 2016లోని క్వశ్చన్ నెంబర్ 15 డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. So the brief facts of the case are like that. The government wishes to acquire a certain land for public purpose. First one, Brahmana Maticha. So here the government wants to acquire the land not for its anything. It's only for public purpose. Then the local people oppose the same. Same thing will happen. Local people oppose the same. So what do they say? The local people say that the land is their source for their livelihood. So they are living only by cultivating the land, by utilizing the land. So they can't go anywhere. They cannot lose the land. So they could not survive if the land is taken by the government. So this is their contention. Decide. So that means if these people approach you that the government is intending to take our land, so you oppose, what do you say? So in this connection, you have to enlighten them regarding the so-called 2013 Act. Before that, let us, so one of the issue is whether the government can acquire the land for public purpose. If so, whether the people who are enjoying or the so-called local people can object the same or not. So straight answer in the discussion is point number 1, yes, the government can acquire the land. Point number 2, you can oppose, yes, only for as regards the compensation. That's all. We have been seeing the incidents of Bhogapuram airport in Vijayanagaram district. Every day in and day out we have been seeing in the press. So they are fighting only for compensation. And very famous incidents of Nandigram, Singroor, where Tata people left and went to Gujarat because of the incidents. Yes. This is all regarding blanket acquisition. So basically, yes, please remember, since it is a jurisprudence topic, you have to mention in the discussion jurisprudence. This is a topic relating to social engineering or interest of the society. Society should develop. There should be sustainable development. There should be establishment of special economic zone, exclusive economic zone, or like that, or SUV, special utility vehicle, definitely for the purpose of the benefit of the people. So in jurisprudence, you have studied the Roscoe Pound's so-called notion of the social engineering. Basing on that, now you come to the discussion. Acquisition of land for developmental purposes, it is always a contentious issue, always a disputable issue. What aggravates the problem is the government is acting, normally the government is acting as a taker of the land and transfer it to alternative uses. This is the main problem. By saying on the paper that the government wanted it for public purpose, ultimately it hands over the land to some industrialist who will misuse it, who will take loan. వాడు శుభ్రంగా లోన్ తీసుకుంటాడు, వెళ్ళిపోతాడు SEZలు. సేమ్ థింగ్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ లేపాక్షి, కాకినాడ SEZ బోర్డు అని ఉన్నాయి. రైట్. So here you have to know what is public purpose. Public purpose, please remember, it has the objective to provide, number one, public safety, employment, public health, then general welfare of the public. Suppose if industry comes and some people get employed, it is welfare. Then prosperity and also contentment of the people. Of course, contentment is necessary. Anyway, here there is no contentment among the people of all the inhabitants with a given political decision. Normally, they will be definitely political. Here, what you have to know is public purpose means if the government wishes to do some public good by establishing some industry, by establishing some zone. Yes. So people will get employment, people will get educational facilities. So all these things will be there. Therefore, the government is basing on the so-called legal maxim, eminent domain. Basing on that, yes, government can acquire the land. So government will be the taker of the land. And please remember, according to very famous act, 2013 act, of course BJP people condemn that this while going away, Congress people unnecessarily made this act. But whatever it is, a very good act. So this act you have to remember the name. Right to fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition, rehabilitation and resettlement act 2013. So which lays down the procedure for the so-called acquisition or grant compensation to the displaced persons or to the affected person in India. This is a very famous act. Previously, we used to call it as Land Acquisition Act. So Land Acquisition Act, you all know. Suppose once you go to the land laws, you will be knowing about this particular land acquisition law, which is very important law. So here, previously, we used to, since we are old people, section 6, 6A, D and DD, all these words were presented. According to section 11, the government has to give notification, they have to get the objections, they have to make the assessment, they have to conduct the village sabha, they have to convince the people. If the people of the village, they object, we can't do anything. And paying of compensation, another point, paying of compensation more than the market value. That's why our Kopolu bypass road people, they got crores of rupees. So this is the procedure. You can contest only as regards the compensation. Government is the owner of the land. Basing on the principle of eminent domain, they can acquire the land. Please remember, only for public purposes and provided it pays compensation. So, according to section 23 to 26 of the 2000 Act, the payment of compensation is also clearly envisaged. Right? So, now you have to be clear that the government acquires the land for use, hold and control. Please remember, including for public sector undertaking also. The power of eminent domain allows the government to take private land for public purposes also. How? By paying compensation. Right? So, they have to fulfill two ingredients as regards to the public purpose concerned. Number one, the land is required. And number two, they will provide compensation. So, there are two legal maxims. Better you remember them and note down upon. Salus popula suprema lex. Salus populis suprema lex. That means interest of the whole community is always superior. No doubt, some people may suffer. Regarding the encroachments in the towns, what will happen? Some people will be displaced. But can you stop the encroachment? It is for general. So, interest of the general public. Second is necessity public major est quam private. So, public necessity is greater than the private interest and claim of an individual. Right? Now, you have to mention a couple of case laws I have written down. Number one, Soora Purushottam Reddy and others versus District Collector, Aurora District 2008 case. Yes, here Soora Purushottam Reddy filed a case that his lands are being acquired for the purpose of development of what? Financial district. Now you go and see the financial district. Highly developed area. So many multinational companies have come. So many people have established. So keeping in view of that, in 2005 or so, the government of Rangareddy district, they wanted to acquire the land. It was subjected to by Soora Purushottam Reddy others. So, but now there is a terrific development. The government was able to prove that it is for the public purpose. It is for the economic development of Rangareddy district. Yes, it happened also. So please remember, any person, any purpose, in this case, Supreme Court held that the public purpose includes any purpose where the community is interested, like EZ, SEZ, mines, shopping malls, then dams. They are all facilitated by paying compensation. They should come up. So this is a very good case law. The second case law is R.L. Aurora versus State of Uttar Pradesh, 1964. So actually, it is a negative example. The government wanted to acquire 9 acres of land belonging to certain people. This is R.L. Aurora, for giving it to an industrialist for establishing a textile machinery parts unit, ancillary parts. So what is the necessity of taking away this particular land only for the textile? If the textile company comes, okay. For example, Brandix is a company in Visakhapatnam where a lot of land was acquired, and Ceylon people, I think, they have started the issue. With that, so many women got employment as tailors, so many people as cutters. So that will be there. But here only textile unit, ancillary parts only. So in this case, Supreme Court held that the government could not justify acquiring land for the textile machinery parts manufacturer. So it is not a public purpose. It is not essential in the center of in the particular area. It is an example. So ultimately, to conclude, already 12 minutes over. To conclude, I want to tell you, so government can acquire land for public purpose by paying suitable, fair compensation only. This should be your conclusion. I think I have taken much of your time. Anyway, from the next question, we will lessen the time. I will try to complete it in 6 to 7 minutes. So with this, I am concluding. Thank you very much.